Welcome, Temple of Mott, Patreon Dancers of the Circle. This is a demonstration of the very simple manifestation spell that creates a money jar. So we're keeping it very simple. I am actually using jasmine incense because it's associated with the color green. I've got my little favorite malachite stone here too as well. So our basic ingredients again, if you've read the page, we have a nicely little decorated can. I've got little money symbols and Jupiter on it, and the document explains those particular choices. So here's my soil, and I even kind of decorated the lid. I'm very much into recycling. So if you can reuse jars and such, they make great, small jars make great spell jars. So basically you want to set up your circle. You can do an LBRP if that's your thing. You can do a circle of salt if that's your thing. You can call the guardians of the watchtowers, whichever you choose. A lot of us have very limited space, so if you live in an apartment or you don't have room to actually stand up and do ritual, I do a lot of what I call table spells in my demonstrations. So I could just as easily put a circle of salt around my table spell. But I do have all of the elements represented with the tools that I'm using. So I have my earth element, I have a fire, I have air, which is also going to be my breath, and then some hot water for this very, very simple spell. So one of the things that you want to do is you kind of want to charge everything that you're using or bless it in some form or fashion. If you have an elemental consecration that you use, for instance, I might say, blessed be this creature of earth, blessed be this creature of air, blessed be this creature of fire, blessed be this creature of water, and since this is our work, which is partially which I'm using today, blessed be this creature of art, or sometimes that's what your athame, if you're going to use your athame. It's sometimes called the creature of art. So the first thing I want to do is I want to charge my vessel, which is both the dirt and the jar. I charge this vessel to be an instrument or a vessel of my desires. And in this case, it's just a little cash flow. And then I'm going to lift this to my lips and use the air of breath. So you just want to breathe right over your herbs. I invoke you as a symbol of money and prosperity. Okay. And then you're going to place your herb that you've charged for the purposes of money or prosperity. Place it over your soil. And while you're doing so, I did include a chant, but of course you can write your own. I am a witch of primal earth, through life and death and my rebirth. With thanks to elemental powers be, with reverence and devotion I ask of thee. Spirits of earth and water and fire, spirits of breath to speak my desire. Seed my spell in the fabric of time until it is spent and success is mine. So I'm just going to pour it all in there. And you can repeat that chant as often as you feel like. And then what I do to kind of release the energies and to create all elements as part of this elemental spell jar, because we have earth, we have air spoken over the parsley, and we want to add the water. The soul of the plant is the fire. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot water, and this is one of my little teacups. So I'm going to add a little bit of hot water, just enough to get the soil wet. Kind of like this. And then I want you to treat this like a tincture. Every 2 weeks or so, I'm going to seal it up. Every 2 weeks or so, shake it up, store it somewhere cold and dry. And as you shake it, imagine those energies blending, the parsley for the money, the earth is the vessel so that we can have manifestation on the physical plane. And of course you have blessed it with the spirit of breath. And you've blessed it in a consecrated circle. So I'm getting a little bit of it wet there, so note to keep in mind. But I'm going to go store this now, where I store my tinctures, and shake it up. And basically the idea being that when you can no longer really tell the difference between the earth and the parsley, the spell is accomplished. You can then pour this out in running water, or you might pour it out in the roots of the tree, and thank the elemental beings that you utilize during your ritual for their service and for their assistance. And I hope that was semi-instructional, very easy to put together, and very adaptable. So thank you for joining us. The Temple of Mott is on Patreon. It's also on Facebook, and it's also on Instagram, Temple of Mott, Knoxville. So I hope you can join us for some future lessons. These particular types of spells or ritual material is delivered every week if you are a Patreon dancer of the circle. So I hope you will go consider joining. You can also just become a $1 patron, which just helps me to keep my content going on both Knoxville Rose and Temple of Mott Knoxville on Instagram. And if you have access to either of those accounts, you'll see that I post quite frequently during the day, usually instructional materials, tarot readings, and that kind of thing. So again, thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the creation of this very easy money jar spell, and just remember to seal it tighter so that you don't get what I had happen. But there's my Jupiter, because Jupiter is related to abundance. So I hope you have abundance in your life and for the rest of the day. Thank you.